Hello everyone, Chance here. Today I'll be doing a review of the Glock 19. This gun is actually made by Elite Force. Some people are kind of unaware. They think Elite Force made it. It's actually made by VFC. It's just Elite Force has the licensing agreements with Glock. So that way, to get around that, they put their name on it. They have the rights to it. But then they have someone else made it. So just to clear any up confusion that you may have, there is a link to this gun down in the description below. This gun was provided to me by Fox Airsoft. A link will be down in the description if you're curious to see any of the stats, things like that, or if you just want to buy one. Also down in the description, there is a link to where you can win a free gun from Fox Airsoft. It takes 2 seconds to sign up. It's absolutely free, no gimmicks or anything like that, and you have the possibility to win an awesome free gun. Let's get right into this review. Let's just dive right into it. Let's get into how you clean and maintain this gun. Just like the real Glock, remember this one is identical to the real Glock 19 in its trademarks, everything, how it how you are able to disassemble the gun, everything about this gun is identical to a Glock, except of course the orange tip. But on each side of the gun there'll be these two little tabs. You'll pull those down, hit your slide release, slide forward, and then boom, you're off. Right here's your hop-up adjustment, your recoil spring. You can do all your maintenance cleaning, things like that, oiling. And now you just do everything in reverse order, and you are ready to roll. So with guns that are gas anyways by VFC, I've only bought one handgun that was ever made by VFC, and it was the M&P 9. And I have it here. Thing was the worst handgun I've ever bought. So I don't have the highest expectations for a VFC made gas gun. Their AEGs are top of the line. Their gas guns I've never had luck with. And I've also shot the UMP, and I thought that was a bad gun. But I had to send this back because the hammer broke, and my gun gets locked like this. It breaks the hammer, and it gets lodged, and I can't do anything about it. So I had to send it back. I only shot it like 5 times. So I got this one. This time I was actually able to use it for, I think it was like 2 games, and then it broke and did this. Not only that, just from pure shooting, what's it called? The little Allen key that holds the sight in vibrated out, so now my rear sight just moves around. But yeah, horrible handgun. I know this isn't an M&P 9 review, but with that being a VFC, I didn't have the highest expectations for this guy. But this guy is decent. Performance-wise, I'll get into that in a bit. But for reliability, I haven't had any issues, no quirks. I've shot a few thousand rounds through it, and it has cycled every single time, not one issue or stoppage. Let's get right into performance. Range. This gun does not have good range. Just to put it straight up in your face, it has shit fucking range. I'm talking like 80 feet and my BBs are dropping on their face. And that's when I'm using .20 gram Elite Force BBs with the hop up turned all the way up, and they are just diving. Occasionally I'll get one to kind of like fly true, but not like honestly ever. It's about every 10 shots they do that. So with range, terrible. My groupings were mediocre. Nothing bad, but nothing great either. Just kind of average. I think if you were to get this gun, at least the one I received, there's honestly, in my opinion, it's $170. That is an insanely high-priced handgun. It's definitely the most expensive handgun I've ever used, and I just don't see a point in using it. The Glock 17 and the Glock 19 in real life are identical, except the Glock 19 is a smaller framed handgun. It's designed for more carry purposes, for concealing carrying or everyday carry, however you like to carry in real life for the real version of the Glock. But in Airsoft, that's not necessary because they're both the same. You know what I mean? You're not going to be concealing carrying a handgun, I should say an Airsoft gun, on the field. So with that being said, this only holds 18 rounds. Some websites say it holds 23, which they're full of shit. It holds 18 for me. I couldn't get a single more BB in this bad boy. So what? You want to buy the Glock 19 instead of the Glock 17 so you can have less rounds, but same everything else? I just don't know why they came out with the Glock 19. I don't know if they just want to have all the Glock series out and have a bunch of different versions and just so people are happy with some variety. Maybe that's what it is. I just thought it's kind of a waste in money because, I mean, they're the same exact guns, except one has less rounds, realistically. So if you are stuck on buying one of these and you want one, I would go with the Glock 17 just so you have more rounds. They do also make CO2 versions of these guns, and that might be a better way to go. I have not shot the CO2. I don't know if my performance with my hop-up unit, with it being CO2, would be better or less. Of course, you get more FPS increase compared to the green gas, which this gun is right around 300 feet per second with a .20 gram BB. But I can't really base my review off the CO2 because I just haven't fielded it. This is just strictly for the green gas version. Speaking of CO2, this gun kicks like a CO2 gun. That is something I really like. The recoil is nice. Really nice, actually, for a green gas gun. It feels like a CO2 gun, and I love that. I always hate when I get a green gas gun, like, for example, the KWA ATP. I love that handgun. No recoil. It's not fun to shoot because you literally almost can't even feel the slide moving. This little guy isn't, like, blowing your arms off, but for a gas gun, it's pretty respectable. It does feel like a low-grade CO2 gun, so I ain't going to complain. Let's talk about the trigger. As you can see, the trigger has a lot of play in it, and then when you actually activate it, it just kind of goes clunk and then flies back. Not the best trigger I've ever used. Let's do the reset. If you're really picky about triggers, you are not going to like this one. Me personally, how I play, I just play casually. I use my primary almost always unless I'm in a close quarter situation and need to use my handgun, or if I'm out of ammo, or if my primary goes down. So having the trigger be kind of shitty isn't the biggest deal breaker for me. I really don't care. What is a deal breaker is the fact it's $170 and it's not performing. Let me know your thoughts down below. If you guys have one of these and you've had no issues, let me know, because I haven't had any luck with getting mine to shoot. It does cycle. It's reliable. It feels good that way. It feels good in the hands. It's a Glock, which is awesome. It's just, it has bad range. And I just don't want to spend $170 on a gun that can't even shoot or compete with most like basic like $60 non-blowback CO2 guns. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just does not have good range. It's pretty embarrassing, actually. Luckily, with my style, I only pull it out in close quarters, so I don't really have to shoot far, but that is still a gripe. When I load up on the field and if I see someone at distance, I don't even try to compete with them because I know I'm going to get beat, because this can't even make it halfway to where they're at. So just keep that in mind if you're really stuck on buying one of these. If you really have to have one, go with the Glock 17. It holds more rounds. And like I said, they're the same exact gun. Just go with that one if you're stuck on buying just one. Just go with the Glock 17. That way you actually get more rounds. And that's honestly all I can really recommend. If it was me and I had to choose, I would never buy this or the Glock 17, mainly because of performance. I don't know if I got sent a lemon. If I did not, and if most of these are actually shooting really good, I would say buy it. Even though it's $170, it's comfortable, it's reliable, it's a Glock, which is pretty neat. It's just mine doesn't perform. So right now in its current state, I would say avoid. Like I said, though, if it is a lemon, do your own research. I haven't seen a lot of videos with people using these, so I can't really tell you if it has good range or not, because I don't like to base an entire review off of one little thing like that. Because, like I said, with my other gas gun, with VFC, I never had that issue with the hop-up. But, so that's why I'm kind of like hoping it's just a little lemon issue. But let me know if you guys had that issue at all in the comments. So yeah, let's just do a quick recap. Glock 19, in every way, the exact replica of a real one. With its trademarks, it's literally every little bit of stippling on the grip. Everything on this gun is identical. How you take it and break it down and clean it, everything is identical to the real one, which is awesome. Recoil is nice for a green gas gun. It is reliable. Accuracy is mediocre and its range is bad. And for $170, I personally cannot justify myself buying this. The only way I could really see it is if you're just stuck on it, or if you have a real one and you really want this, that's the only way it would make sense. But like I was saying, maybe I got a lemon. I'm not sure. I really hope so, because if this gun did perform better, I would recommend it. Even though it's at a really high price point, it would still be worth it. Because when you have reliability and performance, honestly, you can't really put a price on that unless it's like into the few hundreds. But realistically, spending $170 on a handgun, it's not that bad, considering most super reliable handguns are like $99 to like $130 usually on average. Spending an extra $40 to have something like this to say you have a Glock isn't a deal breaker to me as long as it performs. But yeah, let me know what gun you guys want me to review next. I can get anything sent to me. I can do stuff out of my own arsenal. Just let me know. There is a link down in the description to win a free gun. And also this bad boy will be down there as well to Fox Airsoft. Shout out to them for sending me this little guy. I really appreciate it. Let me know what you guys want to see next. Thanks.
If you really care about the life